So, welcome from my side. I'm John. I'm really excited to tell you about Neos because it's a system I just adore. I just love it, really. But first things about me. I'm 35 years old, and I built websites since 19 years. It's a long time, since 1997. And back in 1997, my first site looks perhaps like that in the structure. Some frame sets, but today it looks more like that. But at the end, it's quite the same. We just put structure, content on a site. So beginning was frame set, now it's some HTML5 tags who tells Google I'm the navigation kind of stuff, or I'm the main content. At least it should look like that. Yes, and at the beginning, I had some try and error with some different systems. I had a lot of more, but they don't exist anymore, or they don't have a nice logo, so I just let them out. And it's not that important because I really get fast hooked on Typo 3. And I loved it because I just can put the content like I want. It was very important for me. And I try to have a good experience for the user. And I think it was 2 years ago, I had the first contact with this guy. And I asked him, do you know Neos? And did you try it once? And he was smiling at me and said, yes, I tried it once. And I didn't know at this point that he was a core member or a team developer. It's quite funny. It was the challenge I had the first time to install it. But with the time, you get over it. And now we've come a long way. Yes, and so I changed from Typo 3 to Typo 3 Neos. So it just works, yes. And now it looks like that. I work at .pulse, and we created user-centered website. We put the user first. And we had a strong focus on SEO, so everything have to be correctly. We built over 20 websites with Flow and Neos. And one thing that is very important for us and for me, and that's why I talk about this, is stay simple. Make it easy, because it makes your client smile. Not always, but the chance is much higher. I didn't look that well. And so I talk today about you. You know, you are a developer, and perhaps in our company we have some UX designer and some developer, but you are also a UX designer because you have to create the content in the right way. You have to create the CMS in the right way that the user, the client, can feel the content in an easy way. Don't let him do complicated stuff. Always try to make it easy as possible. If it makes it easier, he will be happier. The screencasts are shorter. I made one this for my daddy. My father has also a website. It was in Typo 3. He never updated it. Since it is in Neos, he updated all the time. So it's my proof of concept. If he can use CMS, it must be really, really good. So you have to pay attention to details, and you will be rewarded with happy clients. And we have a claim in our company. It's the customer is happy, the client is happy, the agency is happy, and at the end you are happy. And I think that's all about, to be happy. I think that's the goal of mankind since hundreds of years, to be happy. So you have the chance to have it. So get back to the topic, how to create Longpager with Neos. So simple, even your clients can do it, and can do it right. So what and why Longpager? why not one-pager? You know, one-pager is just a site with one page. But what is a long-pager? A long-pager is a site with several one-pagers. We had the first one was really one-pager, then we extended with 4 long-pager, and now we're working on a site. I don't know how many long-pagers are encapsulated in this site. I don't know. I think over 50 long-pager in one website. So how to do it? As I said, a website is always some structured content. You have a header, you have a navigation, perhaps a slider, a call to action, a blog, and a contact. And in the background, it looks like that. I think everybody knows this. But one thing that is really hard is you have not normal links again. You have to jump sometimes. Sometimes you have to scroll. And at the beginning, we made it like this. With a website, they can make like stages and say, okay, this is a section name, and they can take a checkbox and say, okay, put it in the navigation, that they can scroll to that point. It was okay, but at the end it was not okay, because it was too complicated. Then we came up with the next idea. This is still online and still working very, very well. That's a website from Uhlmann that makes some software for architecture and engineer. And there we had this, you see here Vorteile, means that's a slider. I show it later. And then you have this customer, Kunden, that's a page section. And there I put the pages, go through them, and put the whole site together in one. And so it's much easier for them. I'll show it to you. This is the page, how it looks like. All links are handled correctly. That's another side, just a screenshot. There we have some products who are on site, and they get all put together into one site with categories. It's a bit more advanced than Uhlmann from this side. I don't know if a few of you have seen this side one. It also have some kind of sections where we put the content together for the slider. That's a slider in a slider in a slider. It was a very nice JavaScript, I can tell you. Really. And now we had to side with a customer, and he's a really big fan of some long text and many content, and he still wants to have some fancy stuff with parallax elements, just some small parts of floating boxes with some navigation in it. And so we built this kind of stuff. You see a site, and then I said, okay, there's possible to have a site who has normal pages with navigation below them, but these sites on top has also one page or long page with some sections and links. So we created a kind of book. And if you open the book, you have the parts of this one pager or of this long pager. And below a side, you can have some bookmarks. And then you can put some different stylings, like a box with some links, or a tab, or accordion, what you want. And you see also here, we always try, even if you're searching an icon, I always think about, okay, what is the most easy icon the user can understand what this content element is? Some people just take always the same icon, but I think it's really important because it makes it much easier. You can recognize it better because you don't just see the title and the icon. Yes, I know you can change it in the YAML. You have some flow query, change the title. That's really cool. But I think still it's good to use a proper icon. So that is how it looks like. You see here this mystery shopping, market up, and so on. And this also, these tabs, that's a slider, a content slider. And these are all one-pagers. There's all kind of different books. And in that way, the user can really generate some complicated content, and he can destroy it. And I think that we want everybody, one of us, just say, okay, the user can create the most awesome website, but he can't destroy it. And that's sometimes a hard task. So why this way? What's the benefit? I think there are 3 parts of benefit for the user, for you, and for your client. For the user, you have no dead links, at least the internal ones. It just works and feels right. It's consistent. For the client, the internal links to section are simple to handle. You don't have to put some sections anymore and hashtags and this kind of stuff. You want to move whole sections? That's no problem, man. Just do it. And, least but not last, multiple editors can work much better together. And that's really important. If you have 10 editors, if you have 2 editors, they see it's much easier to work together. And the benefit for you, you have more control over the HTML structure, you have a cleaner node structure, you have no faults in the nesting of objects. It's much easier to update design and structure. If the customer say, I'm set up with accordions, I want to have a tab, just do it. If I want to say, I saw this fancy stuff, I want to have it, just do it. Especially in our agency, our designers are very creative with some parts. And so it's really important if you have a refactoring of a website or a small redesign, it's good. And you can write dry code. Don't repeat yourself all the time. It's better to maintain, and it's better to use over and over for different projects. So I have to tab it on this side always. How? How you do it? First thing first, I said it, stay dry. With prototypes, you can better nest all the sections. And if you use a settings YAML, you make it code easy, configurable, and reusable for the different parts. You just throw the dependency on the theme, and then you can write the settings directly on the scene, and you don't have to change the package. It's always the best thing. And first thing first, the stuff you see here, we're gonna release open source after this week, perhaps a week longer because I'm still working on it, some parts, but you will get it. And at the side here, you see some files. That's actually the package that we're gonna release. You see I have a lot of prototypes written. And if you have something to improve, just say it. We're very thankful for that, and it's really great. It's a lot of fun. So one of the most important thing is a function that it's called ParentsUntil. I know it from jQuery, and Gerhard wrote it. He's sitting down here. He's just making a photo. Not really. It was great because I found this function, and it didn't work correctly. And I was kind of fucked up because it has to work. I know it should work. But then I wrote a Slack on Saturday night, and Sunday morning I had a Slack. I just fixed it. I said, wow, awesome, really awesome. And that's the magic of ParentsUntil and the magic of Neos, because even on Saturday night you can write, and there's some guys on Sunday morning think, oh, Rez, I want to fix it. That's really, really great. Thank you. And yes, you can give him a hand. I mean, what does this ParentsUntil do? You can just say in any part of this section, you can say if you're here, and you say ParentsUntil section, you get here. If you're here, you get always on this side. And you say ParentsUntil page. You call this one, and then you get always the first child. Just below that, you get that. And with this function, it's possible to generate correct links, the correct node URI for the one-pager, for the Longpager. Without this function, you wouldn't have a nice chance. We've done it once in one project before ParentsUntil. It was a pain. It was really a pain, and we are very happy that this function is here on that side. I think I overjumped one, right? Yes. So, set up your settings. That's just the setting of the page section package. You see here, you don't have to read everything, but I think it's important that you see, I just say here, okay, that's a page, that's a section, that's the mixing of the section. You can have some header height, content collection, and so on. The separator. The title separator is just an attribute in the section, but it's very important for Google Analytics that we can track it, and the SEO guy gets the feedback just like a normal page view. It's really great. Our SEO guy loves it. So, get all kinds of collected properties. What the hell means that? That means sometimes you need the URL. Sometimes you need a part of a URL. Sometimes you need the root line of the pages. And this was function does. This is a prototype. And really, I love prototypes. I just love it because you can do great stuff. I mean, for example, just a side note, somebody told about this compressor script. You can do it also just per typoscript. If you love regex, you can do it. But you can do it. I think it's great. You can do it different thing in different ways, and that's the power of NIAS. And you see here is the magic happen. ParentsUntil, configuration page, get. And so now here I get an array of all the node objects till this page. Here I reverse the array, different direction, and I give it here back. It's first render, or it's the separator. Sometimes you have a path or an ID separator. The first part is different from the other one, so I just put it in. And then you get the property back. It's still here, yes, good. The property can be the title, the property can be a URL path segment, the property can be everything you want, because you just say it here. So if you use it later, we see it. Sometimes I say the title, sometimes I say the URL path segment, all the time, so this is default. And here you see it, like I use it, get the attributes. You see here that the URL for the Google Analytics guys. I just say collection, given the property. I want to have the title, so give me the title as property, and then I get the title separator. Then you get a thing like home/page section/page, like you want. And the ID also the same. And I think it's very important, especially for the ID, to get an ID that you can use, because if you have 5 IDs and they're the same, you can't use them anymore for all the scrollings. But with this kind of system, it's impossible to get the same ID, because the URI path segment is always unique for this kind of section, and we just don't give the URI path segment of this particular page. You give the ID from the whole root line of all the pages. So you always have a unique ID, and that's important. And now it's getting about how to get the content on the page. You set up template, and in that template you have, for example, here is a menu. We can use it for a slider or from jump marks or what you want, what you can imagine, or UX designer can imagine. You get a collection, iterate over it, and there's also a type of script, prototype, page section, collection. I don't go deeply into that because you will see it in the whole package. And if you can't wait, you just can come to me and I will show it to you. It's not that complicated. Just iterate over the elements and just put them out. In all these templates, there's also, I just looked from before, there's also no loop in the template, so you just can do anything you want, really. You can do anything. We use it as slider, we use it as accordions, we use it for, you can make what you want. That's really, really great. Come on. Link handling, yes. So, how you handle links? It's easy, really. If a link is an instance of a section, you need to scroll. It's that easy. And if the parent is different from the actual page, you need to jump to another site and scroll, perhaps or not. But you just need the right URL, and you can do it like that. Here, you just get the node. If it's a page, it's just a page, easy. And in the other case, you just go to the page. And here you have the section again. And it's again, wow, collection, property. So with this kind, page section, node URI, you have just a URL, the right URL of a section. And with all that, you get this. It's a real-world example. You have the content dimension, the path, insurance, health, product and pricing management, hashtag pricing process persons. And it's like that. You have the content dimensions, you have the path to the site, hashtag path to sections. And with this information, you can do anything you want, like it's written here. The scroll jump handling can be easily done with JavaScript or jQuery or your chosen framework. But now you come to me and say, but I don't want to show the people all the page sections. I don't want to show them the world. It's just for the editors. It's really, really easy. Just set up a redirect and say, OK, if I'm in the front end, here, context live, and I have some page section in it, just make a front-end redirect, and it looks like that. It's a HTTP message, 301, everything correct. The location is the node URI, and you're done. It's really working very well. So it looks like that. If a user comes to this site, he gets redirected to this one. You get redirected, and if you're setting it well up, it just gets scrolled to the right content. We made it on Uhlmann even so that the right slider came, and if he had a pop-up at the end, the pop-up opens. You can do anything, so just on you. But there's also the dark side, and that's Google. And we're working at the moment really hard on a solution for that, and we will share it to you if you have it. But unfortunately, Google can't handle section in sitemaps, in XML sitemaps. They just can't handle it. I mean, they can handle it, but they don't get indexed, so it makes no sense. And some times ago, about a year, we handled it with some JavaScript tricks with redirect, and then it get correctly indexed. But at the moment, Google was very clever and also get the JavaScript and said, hey, you're redirecting. It's not counting anymore. But you can say, but as soon as Google can handle these sections, and I think they will because they're working on that, you have a great base for sitemaps with sections. If you do it with normal content elements and stages, all the kind, it's much more harder to have a clean sitemap. With that, you're ready to go. And how do I create a sitemap like that? I made some time ago a package. I think I'm gonna include it to the normal sitemap package. I have to look how to do it. But it's just a sitemap where you can make the section work and all this kind of stuff. At the moment, it's just a normal sitemap and some parts, some improvements that you have the hash links if you want, and the meta robot no index gets observed, and you can also say, I don't want to have the shortcuts get rendered or also kind of stuff because it makes no sense. So you can use it. As I said, everything you saw here will get in open source. And open source means also that not only just we write the whole stuff, you're invited to join us on this package and help us to make it better. Because I think 100 brains are better than 1 or 2. And there will not be just a package, it's also be a small demo site where we can just look at it and how it works, and yes, it's still work in progress. So, as I said, we published it on GitHub. And if you're interested, just drop a line to nias@doppus.ch, and we will keep you informed. Or you come to me, and I can write your stuff down. And last but not least, and I think that's the amazing part, I'm really thrilled, I'm really excited about NIAS, because I've built a website over almost 20 years now, and had never a system like that. And I was dreaming since the beginning of a system like that you can really, really give the user a good feeling when he fill up his content, when he do his stuff, and you can do everything like you want. I mean, some guys build a React front end, or you can do everything, and that's the great thing. So for me, it's really like that. Not make America, make the internet great again. And we thought about it, but we didn't have the time to make a cat like that, because also there is coming a new logo. But I think really you can do it right here, the content part of the internet really great again.